welcome to the Cup TV, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality. And you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I am your girl Lana, your resident evil diva, and I'm here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea because you know I love me some tea purr. And I do love having a cup mug handy.
Ooh,
Period.
yeah, sorry. Wait,
Yeah,
we got it here. You got it here.
period. Your cup mug.
Period.
Yeah. Anissa was so excited she couldn't wait to show you their cup mug. And you can
I
get you one.
also,
Uh-huh.
yeah, I also couldn't wait to show this too, because I wanted to make sure I had it ready on hand. Our lovely cup, bottle, bust to.
Period. And you can get your cup mug and water bottle at lanagcreations.etsy.com. That link will be in the description below. And if you look right to the right of the screen, there is a QR code. You can scan that QR code. It'll take you right to the shop. You can buy your cup. You could favorite the shop. That'll help too. And yeah, do all the things. And we do ship internationally and domestically, so there are no excuses. Canada, I'm looking at you. The proof is on the screen right there. Get your cup merch. Period. And thank you.
Yes, and I am Manisa Lam, also known as Sam DMV, also known as Sam de Monteverde. Um, your fellow friendly 5'3" trans non-binary Filipino Canadian mentally unstable hot mess, hailing all the way from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Scrub if you want to be specific. Whoa, burn if you want to be more specific than that. Today I just have some water just because I need it. Lord knows I need it. I haven't had water in a while. Hydration is of the essence, like always.
Absolutely. And we are here. We are back. We are doing our thing. I'm so excited to be here. Sam, Anissa, I'm so happy to have you
Yes.
back.
Yeah, it's been a while. Life has been lifing, so I'm glad to actually find time to come back. Yeah, it's been a couple episodes. I think last time I was here, Kevin hadn't been banished yet,
hmm
somehow. But thank God.
But yeah, it's a lot has happened. Some banishments have occurred. Some murders taking place. Some recruitments happened. Things been going on. But
Hmm.
we're going to talk all about everything Traitors Canada. I wasn't here last week because I too had to go outside and touch grass. I went outside. I touched some grass last weekend and I was doing things and had a great time doing it. So the recording didn't happen. So this week we're talking Traitors Canada episodes 7 and 8 this week. So we're going to talk about both of those episodes. And before we do, I just need y'all to do me a favor. Please subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already. Subscribe, follow, share, do all the things that say you support us. We truly, truly appreciate it. We're on a mission to get 1,000 new subscribers by the end of the year. The end of the year is here. And I just think I'm going to have to go into 2026 saying the same thing. And you know what? I don't mind. I'll do that. I'll do it. And I will do it. But subscribe to this channel and subscribe to all of our channels. All the links will be in the description below, as well as our audio podcast links, our Patreon. Join the Patreon. We got a lot of fun things going on in our Patreon. If you're a fan of holiday movies, the Movie Bucket is doing a month of holiday movies this season, and yours truly made an appearance on the Movie Bucket this time for a holiday movie. So I'm excited for that. Excuse me. Join us on and check it out in our Patreon. It is a Patreon exclusive. So if you haven't joined the Patreon, now is the time to do it. That link is also in the description below, as well as some other fun things we have in our Patreon that are Patreon exclusive. So you definitely want to do that and follow us over there. Follow us on all of our socials too as well at the Cut Pod on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. We love to hear from you and love the engagement coming from you guys over there. We appreciate you. And follow us over there. And you can follow Sam, Anissa, and I if you want. Those links will be down there. Check it out. And yeah, there we go. We have it. We're ready. But let's talk Traitors Canada. We're gonna start with episode 7. Um, this was right after the
The
recruitment.
setup, if you will.
The setup as well. Yeah, the setup that occurred in episode 6. It was a huge setup where Rhea was recruited and banished all in the same episode.
Hmm.
I was like, "Ooh, they got you good, girl."
Yeah, they ate her up. They
They ate her
swallowed
up.
her.
It was a devour. They got her so good. I was like, "Oh man." It it was insane, but they ate her up. And Jericho was feeling a little type of way about that after Rhea got banished and revealed that she in fact was a traitor. And for some reason everybody assumed that she was an original traitor. Like she is someone who she's been there. And
Hmm.
that poor baby ain't been in there 24 hours. She ain't even make a whole day in as a traitor. It was just she was in the revolving door was working and she was like "Shoo," in the traders out of just but people are convinced that she has been an original trader except for one person, and that's Jamal. Jamal was like, she ain't been no trader this whole time. I don't believe it. But a lot of people ain't listening to Jamal because everybody kind of like,
Yeah, I feel
Jamal.
like now Jamal's kind of growing this rep of like, oh, be outspoken all you want. We don't believe you because every time you've been outspoken, you've been wrong.
You've been wrong. You've been wrong. So it's kind of like, oh, well, whatever, Jamal. We not really fully taking you seriously at this moment because you're loud and you're outspoken. Um, Jamal even made allude that he was called aggressive at one point, and he's like, "That's not me. That's not who I am." I'm very passionate. People don't understand me. People don't know where I'm coming from. They don't get me. And it's just like, okay, but all right. A lot of people were loud and wrong in this episode. I'm
Yeah,
just gonna say that. Just loud and wrong. Um, I'm trying to think. Oh, so we go in the conclave and it's time to decide who they want to murder
yes.
this next night, and it's like, who do we want? Who is the safest bet? They wanted to play it a little bit safe for them because they were like, we don't want you know too much blowback on us.
Hmm.
And so it was certain people who they knew they had to stay away from, but they knew it was a couple of people who they could get away with. They could get away with this person. You know, I'm gonna ask you, Anissa,
Yes,
when you
ask
were
away.
watching this, when you were watching this, were you as convinced as I was that I was like, oh, I know who they're about to murder, and it makes the best sense that nobody will care if they murder this person.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Because I think, because also, like, I'm thinking in my head, if obviously I assume it is the person that did get murdered. So,
Hmm.
like, she had a very interesting like position in particular because everyone was so 50-50 with her,
Right.
and the traders were trying to keep it that way. And then also, it doesn't help that Kevin's like, oh, I want to come for Coco and Shaughnessy, but we have to get Coco first and then Shaughnessy. So, like,
it, it just kind of blew my. I was kind of like, yeah, if she goes, nobody's gonna care.
no.
But what also blew my mind was how right after Rhea was gone, and Rhea got announced that she was a traitor, and they were in there talking, how quickly people were like, I'm off Coco.
That was crazy too. That was crazy. I I think it's because Venus's name had already been out there to begin with, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I feel like people are now starting to be more convinced about Venus. And I feel like it's just, oh yeah, easy second out. So now that Rhea's out, and obviously Kevin being out, they're thinking maybe Venus is that third original, if you will.
Right. It was just interesting. I mean, because like Jericho literally told Coco right after the round table, I'm off you now. And I was like, are you? You sure?
I'm not
Like,
mad. I'm not mad. I love Coco.
I'm not mad at it either because honestly, she's killing. But the traitors do make their decision on who they were going to murder that night. They thought about recruiting, but they were like, nah, let's keep it. We need to murder somebody tonight. Um, and so we get to breakfast. People start filing in. Um, we had an interesting conversation that happened between Dom, Coco, and Meredith, where they
Oh,
were,
oh,
yeah,
sorry. Go on. Go on.
yeah, they were sitting at the table, and this is right after the doll challenge had happened,
Yes.
and certain people got shields, some people didn't, and they wanted to make sure, wanted to know who had shields. So Dom, Coco, not Dom, Coco, Dom, Meredith, and Jericho,
Yes.
and Jericho is the only person out of those three who was able to be possibly get a shield. And so when Dom
Hmm.
asked him, like, "Hey, did you get a shield, or do you know who got shields?" He was like, "Well, we weren't allowed to talk about it, and so we didn't say anything. Nobody said anything. Nobody was able to talk about it." So he was like, "Okay, so did you? But you know, if you got a shield, did you get a shield?" And Jericho goes, "I'll tell you in confidence." And so Meredith is like, "It's just the three of us. You won't say it to me. You won't tell me if you got it." He was like, "I mean, I'll go say it later with." So now Meredith is like, "That's suspicious. Why wouldn't you tell me
That's
if you
suspicious.
got the
That's
shield?
weird.
That's weird. What do you mean you don't want to tell me? Why wouldn't you tell me? I mean, I thought we were cool. Why wouldn't you tell me if you got a shield? At this point, it doesn't matter anymore because you made it through the night." So,
Hmm.
but he didn't want. He was like, "I'll tell you later. I'll say it later," and blah blah blah. Child. So the next group comes in, and it's like three or four more people, and I think it was Hollywood who asked. So no, they asked Hollywood if he got a shield. He said no, and somebody said, "So who got a shield?" And he was like, Jericho was like, "I mean, I did." And so now Meredith is like,
You
"What? You gonna say
didn't say
it
this
now?"
before, but you're saying it now?
He's like, "Well, I mean, I was gonna wait till everybody came in." She was like, "But it was just." So now at that point, she was locked set
She
on
was
the.
livid.
She was locked in on Jericho. She was like, "What do you mean you won't tell me, but you go tell everybody else? What?" And then you don't tell me when you say you go do it in private, but then the next group of people come in and then you just tell everybody. Baby, she was livid. She was so mad. Um, but it came down to Sarah Nicole, Natalie, and Shaughnessy.
Yes.
Those are the last three people into the breakfast. Um, Natalie comes in first. Sarah Nicole comes in next. And everybody's like, oh, if Shaughnessy walks in, it was a recruitment. Mm-hmm. And then we hear the gong. Shaughnessy, rip Shaughnessy.
I genuinely think she was just dealt a bad hand
Yeah,
from the first
absolutely.
episode until when she got murdered.
Yeah. Like ever since Kevin called her out, it was just like there was nothing they could do. It was nothing anybody could have done or said at this point. She was on a ticking time bomb and she couldn't really defend herself because she was
Yeah,
like, all I can say is I'm a faithful, and people were like, that's what we all say. So no, it wasn't like she really could defend herself or anything.
no. But
But
also, it kind of that also kind of plays a factor into. I'm thinking about it now. Low key taking the heat off Coco, especially
hmm
because Kevin's like, "Oh, it's Coco and Shaughnessy." So I feel like murdering Shaughnessy, they're gonna be convinced, "Oh, Coco's not the traitor."
right, because if Shaughnessy was able to be murdered, then Coco obviously is not a traitor, and she'd probably be able to be murdered at some point too. So it was an interesting thing. My favorite part of this moment though was Shaughnessy, Coco not knowing how to spell Shaughnessy's name. And I, first of all, let me just say, Coco, I feel you because just writing her name in this banner, I was like, how do you spell this girl's name? But I had to go back and look. But Coco sat at that round table and was like, I never, because they were like, who voted for Shaughnessy? Didn't some of y'all vote for Shaughnessy? And Coco was like, I never voted for Shaughnessy because I don't know how to spell her name. Check me out. Took me out.
Take me out.
I was like, real. That was so real. That was so real. Because even in the when they were writing it in the conclave, Venus was spelling it out, and apparently she spelled it wrong because Shaughnessy was like, "This is a interesting way to spell my name." So they even spelled it wrong then. So Shaughnessy, I'm sorry, your name, yeah, that's a hard name to spell. That's a hard name to spell. Just trying to sound it out, but Shaughnessy's gone. And it, like I said, nobody cared. Nobody
I
cared.
Now, granted, I did enjoy Shaughnessy while she was on the show, but
Yes.
again, I, on a game perspective, for everyone's sake, because she was that 50-50 person, it did nothing for anyone. It was just Shaughnessy's gone. Let's move on.
hmm I was like, oh, well, all right then. But after that, Meredith was on the prowl. She was telling everybody who would listen about Jericho and his shady dealings in that breakfast. And she was letting everybody who had ears and who was willing to listen know that Jericho is shady. She didn't like that. Why would he say something? She was on the prowl. She was on the prowl. Um, but in true Canada, Traitors Canada, we move right along and get ready for this challenge. I'm still never going to get used to how fast this goes. And the episodes
I
be
love it,
longer.
Loki, though.
I do. I kind of love it, low key. It's like we don't get a whole lot of fluffy talking, and we get some. I would love to get a little bit more game talk, but we get a little bit. But it's like, let's get to the challenge.
Yeah.
Let's get to the challenge. And so we get to the challenge, and everybody is paired up, and they're going to go run through as they're tethered together by chains to go look for gold coins and shields. Corinne's going to ask them a question. The traders answered these questions, and now you have to guess what the trader says. Simple, right? Once you go find the coin, you can come back and put the coin on the name of the person you think corresponds with what the trader said in the answer. If you're right, you keep the money. If you're wrong, the money goes away. Simple, right?
Simple. Yeah.
Simple. And they had, and some some questions were easier than others to figure out, and some questions, it was really much a guess. Like, I don't know what the traders are thinking or who they would think, but I think it was who was the most. Oh, I can't remember what the question was. I know one was the last one was
So
who do you definitely
I
think is a
luckily
traitor?
took note of the question. So yeah, so first one was who doesn't deserve to win?
Yes.
And then we got the best negotiator. That was question
Hmm.
two. Question three was who's most likely to get away with anything. Um, number four, who's doing the bare minimum?
Hmm.
And then number five, who do you think is a traitor?
Right. The first two people will guess Kara as the best negotiator and who doesn't deserve to be here. And I think they were saying Kara because they're like, she's already a real housewife of Toronto. She has money. She's good. She don't need to be here. She don't need this money, which makes sense to me. I mean, I would be like, yeah, she
Yeah.
don't need it.
And Kara said it herself too. She's like, yeah, I live probably the richest life out of everyone here. So cushiest, as she said in her words, the cushiest life out
Hmm.
of everyone here. And she's like, it's fine.
But they also said she's a great negotiator, and we saw her do her thing at the round table when she was talking and giving out her, her stories and how she works for her husband in his office, and we know her. So they voted her best negotiator, and they won some money with that. Whoever put their coins on there, they were right. Who? What was the third question?
Who is most likely to get away with anything?
And that went to Jericho. I
No.
was no.
Wait, what?
Was it Jericho? No.
No, the first one went to Jericho. Doesn't deserve to win. That went to Jericho.
I thought that was Kara too.
No,
Well,
they
no, she
put money on Kara though,
people put money on Kara, right? But
but
that
it
was
wasn't Kara.
Jericho,
It was
right? It
Jericho.
was
Yeah,
Jericho.
there we go.
Okay,
Uh,
but
but yes, number three, most likely to get away with anything, and we got $1,000 put on Natalie, and
mm-hmm,
then 500 on Sarah Nicole. Um, Neither of them were correct. The answer, the trader said Hollywood, which I actually thought was a good answer.
that was a good answer because he is influential.
We'll
I
talk about
guess.
that later. We'll talk about that
Mm-hmm,
later.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But yeah, it was Hollywood. So the next
Uh,
question was
who is doing the bare minimum?
that went to Natalie.
That went to Natalie. No one found any gold except for Dom, who was like really close to getting it on that barrel, and like he
And
fully dived onto. Oh, who did he dive for? Either Kara or Coco. Um, it wouldn't have been right anyways, but
right. So the attorney said Natalie was doing the bare minimum. And then the last question was, who do you think is definitely a traitor? If I'm right.
yes, yeah, and that was the final one and probably the most chaotic one.
Yeah. Because Kara and Lisette found money, and they both found a coin apiece. And Carol wanted to put hers on. Who did she want to put hers on?
Oh. I know Lisette wanted to put hers on Meredith.
Mm-hmm.
Kara, I forget.
I forgot who Carol wanted to put hers on, but they ended up splitting, and then they ended up switching.
Jericho.
Jericho, okay. And she was like, "No, I don't." Lisette was like, "No, I think it's Meredith." Kara was like, "No, I think it's Jericho." So then they end up switching, and then so Lisette ended up putting her coin on Meredith, and they put one
Yes.
on Jericho.
But f- there was a random moment there where like Kara and just ends up putting a coin on Lisette's.
Yeah, So I was like, no.
You think I'm a traitor?
And she's like, no, I don't. But she was like, well, take it off mine. Like, it's so crazy. It was so crazy. But the answer was, was it Meredith?
Coco.
Oh, it was Coco.
No,
Yeah.
it was Coco.
Yeah, it was Coco. Nobody put theirs on Coco
No,
because they're like,
Dom in Hollywood put all their gold on Coco.
oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. They put it on Coco. And they were like, well, we didn't put it on Coco. Other ones who didn't was like, we didn't put it on Coco because that doesn't make any sense for the traders. The traders would never say themselves. That's
They
stupid. And I was like, but they did. But they
did.
did. But that
Coco.
also cleared Coco in a whole nother way where folks was like,
It did.
Coco would never put her own name down. That wouldn't that I was just like, I don't know what the voodoo that Coco is doing so well, but she is doing it. Like the target that Kevin created for her is shrinking and shrinking and shrinking by the day. It's
It's
insanity.
it's great. I love her confessional note being like, I would never do that. That would be crazy.
It's so
That's a
funny.
another installment of Coco taking me out. Oh my god.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It was so good. But they ended up winning. I can't remember the amount that they won,
They won
but
6,000.
okay. So they did pretty decent. I will say it was a pretty decent
Yeah.
run. Pretty decent run for the challenge. They go back to the inside. They start doing their talking and scrambling and getting ready for roundtables. People are discussing who they're gonna bring up, and Jericho's name comes up a lot. People still can't let go of the fact that he voted with Rhea, that they were close. What he did at breakfast with Meredith is still coming up. So people are not feeling Jericho at this moment.
No, no. Which is crazy given where he was like before Rhea became a traitor.
Hmm. He was amongst the faithful of the faithfuls. He was like people trusted him to be like the faithful of the faithfuls, and now it's like we don't really anymore. Um, Jamal is not convinced it's Jericho at all.
Nope.
Uh, he's like, I think I know who it is, and y'all can't convince me otherwise. And I'm gonna bring it up at the round table because I'm convinced this person is exactly who I say they are. And so I'm gonna bring it up. And he did. He did. He brought it up. He brought it up at the round table.
Let me bring up Kara, right? Kara?
Yes, yes.
Okay, yes.
He's so convinced that it's Kara. He's like, Kara is it. I know it's her. You won't convince me otherwise. It is not her. And like I said, people are looking at Jamal and they're like, he's been loud and wrong a few times. So he's not the person who we are going to listen to the most. So they really kind of played him dust a little bit. And like even when like Hollywood was talking to him and trying to convince him because he was just like, you really think he might as well would in my opinion, he might as well have been like, oh, Jamal, you think it's Kira? Bless your heart.
That's
Like
truly what it was giving.
it literally was like he was like, I don't believe anything you're saying, and it's fine, but I'm gonna let you go on with your delusions and your what you see. I'm not voting that way, but if you like it, I love it. I love it for you. That's just what it felt like they were giving off as they were talking to him. Um, People are totally off Coco, and it's like, okay,
Her name didn't even get brought up this roundtable.
no, no,
Not one beep.
not one thing. And I was just like, wow, she's good. She's really good. She's really good. So we get to the round table, and um they bring up Jamal starts talking about why he feels like it's Kira. People were telling him that they feel like he's a lot like bold and brash in how he speaks, and he goes on and lets them know that that's just how he speaks. Nobody knows his story. You don't know where what he's been through. He's not aggressive, he's not loud. That's just how he talks. He just talks very passionate when he's talking about something, because he never had the opportunity to not have to work for everything, and have to fight and scrape and claw his way up his entire life. And so he was like, if you feel that I'm being abrasive or loud or whatever, that's just me. And I wish people would accept me, like, for me. And I was like, I get it, but I don't always feel like that's an excuse, honestly, because
Hmm.
you could be a passionate person, you can have a little oomph in your voice, but just because that's who you are, don't mean everybody's gonna like that.
Yeah.
So it kind of was like, mm, okay, but he was still going after Kara, and it was like, okay, but then of course Meredith pipes in, and she's all about this Jericho. She's all about Jericho and the train. I want to know from you, Sam, what did you think about this? Aneesa, what did you think about the Meredith bandwagon? I mean, well, the Meredith show when it came to Jericho, like, because it played out for me in a way that I was like, interesting. How did you? But I want to know how you felt about that.
I mean, yeah, like everything she's saying about Jericho, yeah, technically is right, except for the
Hmm.
fact that he's a traitor. Um, but I don't, I think it's just more so like Jericho kind of like really shot himself in the foot.
Mm.
And that's like watching that roundtable, that's very much kind of what came into my mind of like, oh, Jericho's now being very sloppy. His like sentences are being inconsistent. Um, yeah, he was doing so well until that.
Right. And I think
Like
he would.
it's either yeah, it's either if he didn't bring up the fact that if he either right away was like out in public, outspoken, I have a shield, hi.
Hmm.
Or he could have like lied about not having he could have lied and said, oh, I didn't get a shield.
Right. I got it wrong. Like he
Yeah,
just
like
should. He
there's no in between for that.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. You gotta say it. Like if you are gonna tell people that you have it or you had it, you should be able to just say that. Um, and he should have said it from the get go. Or if he wasn't going to tell it everybody, he shouldn't have said it at all.
Yeah,
He should have said it all. Because people were like listening to Meredith give her points, and like you said, things that she was saying was true, except he was a traitor, and it just made it so much easier for people to like hear a name. What's the last name I hear? That's who I'm writing down, type of deal. Or,
yeah.
who's the last person that got mentioned in this roundtable. And it was interesting to see that play out, but the votes come in and it is not even close.
Nope.
It
No,
it
man.
is it is not even close. They they got you. They got you, gal. Like they got him. Jericho got I think the vote was like 6-3. It was a lot of votes for Jericho. A couple of
Yeah.
votes for Meredith. Meredith got a vote from Lisette. Kara got a vote from Jamal. Um, but I think everybody else voted for Jericho.
Yeah, I believe it seems to be like the most like unified vote.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And so Jericho's gone, and it's like, oh, and he lets them know that he is, in fact, is and has always been a faithful. And people are like, oh no, oh no, we got rid of another
Oh,
faithful.
uh,
It's
I love watching the honestly, I feel for them, sure, but I love watching the crash outs. Being like, "Yeah, you got it wrong,"
Yeah,
slamming the
it's
table and all that.
oh my god, like the dramatics that they go through for getting it wrong. Like, oh no, I knew it. I knew he wasn't. And it's just like, oh girl, it's so funny. But they have they're now sad and mad that they got rid of Jericho and he was a faithful. But then it was like, but somebody had to go. Somebody had to go. And
Hmm.
he was the one person who I would have wanted to go, like, or who should have gone. We had to see. We had like it was all so much justification on why they did it. It was like, yeah, he was a faithful, but we had to make sure.
Yeah,
And I'm like, oh,
it's so funny because we get like Coco, another confessional from Coco being like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe we just got the most faithful of the faithfuls out."
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And so then we see Coco and Venus going into a confession, and there's a letter waiting for them. And the letter is like, "Hey, traitors, you're going to do a murder tonight, but not in the traditional way. There is a shield, a cursed shield, hanging behind the skeleton picture in the hallway. Your job is to go get the shield and then give the shield to someone who you want to be cursed, which means they're going to be murdered tonight." And so as we know from the mission, also three people got shields. And
No,
the
to
mission,
oh
uh,
sorry,
yeah, three
no, no, go on, go
people,
on, go on. Yeah, you're right.
because Hollywood got one,
Chala got one,
Shala got
and Venus
one,
got one.
and Venus got one. So three people got shields in the mission. And so now they decided they were going to do like shield swaps. But before that even happens, Dom comes out and he's like, this happened earlier in the day. This is not right after.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
This happened earlier. Dom is like, hey, I got a shield. I want everybody to know that. And folks are like, what? Why would you why would you tell people you got a shield? And he's just like, it's strategy, because if I tell people I got the shield when I don't have the shield, I'm protected because Hollywood will have the shield, and they would think Hollywood has the shield, and they think they won't try to kill. Well, if they try to kill Hollywood, he has a shield. But if they try to kill me, they won't try to kill me because they think I have the shield. And I was like, that's pretty smart, to be honest.
He goes there.
He
He
he he
goes there.
he kind of ate. He kind of ate with that one. I was like, okay, I see you, Dom. Because yeah, if you don't have it, but they think you have it, they're not going to kill you. And if they think your partner has it, and then she does have it, and they think she doesn't have it, they can try to kill her or her. They can try to kill them, and but they got the shield. So I thought it was kind of genius. But everybody else in the house was like, what do you mean you go just tell people you got the shield? Why would you do that? That's dumb. That's stupid. Well, I don't think it was that dumb after all.
It definitely wasn't. I think just people didn't know he gave his shield to Hollywood.
He didn't.
That's it.
Hollywood found the shield.
Hollywood did find the shield, actually.
Yeah, so that was his shield. Dom just was like, I got one. But push all that aside, going into this night of shield swapping, because that's what everybody is told they have to do. If you have a shield, you must use that shield for some. Well, you must give that shield to someone else. And
Hmm.
so Hollywood and Dom just swapped shields. Hollywood had it. Dom, they think Dom has it, but they don't know which. They think Dom gave it to Hollywood. So now Hollywood is still protected even without him having the shield. Um,
Hmm.
which I was like, eat. Um,
Eat.
they kind of ate with that, so that was cute. Um, Venus was and Chala had to figure out what they were going to do with their shield, and I don't know why this happened, but they decided to get into a group of four with uh Venus and Sarah Nicole, Chala, and
Coco.
Coco, and they were going to swap shields that way, so the four of them could be safe still because the traitors won't know who has the shield, although the traitors are standing amongst them right now. And so it was interesting to see them going back and around and how they decide with these things. In the meantime, we still had right before that we had Venus and Coco looking for the curse shield. Coco didn't want nothing to do with it. Coco at first was like, I don't want nothing to do with this. Killing in plain sight is not what I call fun. It's not something I want to do. The heat is still sort of kind of on me, and I don't want to ruin it by getting caught, you know
Hmm.
looking for this cursed shield. Venus is looking. Coco ends up finding it and getting it, almost getting caught by Dom, but she survives. Um, she finds Venus, who says she was going to the bathroom, but she was literally looking for the shield. But she couldn't find it because Coco already found it. So they let each other know that they found it and they had to give it to somebody. Coco didn't want to do it, but she found it, so she had to do it. It was a lot.
Yeah, no, I I was on the edge of my seat because I was like, oh, please, please, like murder someone.
Yeah, because at first Coco was like, I'm just gonna keep it. We just nobody gets murdered. People be in confusion. They think it's a recruitment, and it hasn't been. Just nobody got murdered. But Venus was like, Nah, we gotta kill somebody. Apparently Venus had a plan, and she said she had to kill somebody. Um, so this is where it gets crazy still because apparently Venus gets another shield at some point. And so she has two shields in her possession. And so she has to give one away. When she could have easily gave it to Sarah Nicole, which was her partner, she didn't do that. She didn't do that. And I'll tell you who she gave it to in just a second because we have to talk about who did end up getting this cursed shield at the very last moment that they could possibly give it out because they had to do it before midnight. And Coco was fighting it, denying it. She didn't want to do it. She didn't want to do it, but she knew she had to because Venus was like, "We got to do it. We got to do it." And oh, it was like the last few minutes of this whole foolery going on with these shield swaps, and she finally gave it to someone at the last minute, and we were gonna have to wait until breakfast to find out who got that shield. But also, Chala is now very much concerned with Venus in this because Venus was acting weird about giving her shield away.
Hmm.
And I was like, ooh, yeah, Venus, you screwed up with that one. Like, I would have been like, yeah, here, take it, get it out of my hands. Whoever, Sarah Nicole, you have it. And we won't tell between the four of us who has it so
Yeah.
the traders won't know. Like, that's literally all she had to do. But she was fighting about it. And I was like, why, girl?
Now, I will say, watching the next episode,
Mm-hmm.
she explains it a bit more, and I'm like, yeah, I get it. Um, but obviously, who it's being like taken as, oh, you didn't stick to your word. You're acting suspicious. You're a traitor.
it was very much that. And so and what I noticed is Chala and Meredith, They are so much alike. They are so much alike because once they get it in their head who they think it is, focus, laser focus
Yep.
on that person. And they are looking to see any signs or anything that any slip ups that happen.
Hmm.
And they were waiting. They were just like, and they got together and they were like, I don't trust Venus. And they're like, me too. I don't either. Something is up. Something ain't right. And I was like, uh oh. What's happening here? But
I think
before we
even
go ahead.
even like Sarah Nicole gets in on it too.
Mm-hmm. Because they were both like, something ain't right. The way she was fighting about these shields just didn't sit right when you could just give it to one and everybody would be safe.
Hmm.
But she wasn't doing that. She wasn't doing that. Um, but we get to breakfast because the traders have done their deed and somebody is gone and everybody's coming in, everybody's greeting, everybody's happy. I can't remember who the last three coming in though this time, but all I know.
I remember it came down to two actually,
Okay, was it
and it was
Sarah?
no, it was between Jamal and Natalie.
Right. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And Jamal walks in, Natalie does not, and Natalie's gone. And I was like, ooh. And the way Coco gave her that shield, and she was praising her like, "Oh my God, thank you so much, Coco. You saved my life. Oh, you did. Oh my God, you saved me. I am so grateful. I am so happy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, I can't. You just don't understand how much this means to me. This is so great." And I was like, "Oh no, girl.
Oh no,
Oh no, girl.
I love you, but
But no, girl." It was so, she was giving her so much praise. Like, you're doing, oh, you're so great. I love you so much. This is the best day. Oh, I get to sleep so soundly. Oh, this is so great. Only to be woken up and told by production in this letter that the traitors have murdered you and gave you a cursed shield.
which I thought was crazy too, because I love that the letter was like, oh, you thought you had a shield, but you had the cursed shield, so therefore you're murdered.
Yeah, it was.
And I thought that
Okay.
was extra brutal.
It was. It totally was. And I was like, geez, see, because she thought she had a good night. She was gonna have an easy night. She was gonna chill. She was gonna relax. But baby, they were like, nah, no, no, you're not. You're not relaxed. It was gag worthy. If that was me, I'd be so pissed. I'd be so pissed because now it's like
Hmm.
I know who did this to me, but I can't say nothing because I'm done. I'm out.
Yeah.
But yeah, Natalie's gone. Everybody's shocked. Everybody's like, "What the heck?" And then we get a revelation that Venus gave her shield to Dom because she was like, "I want to
Yeah,
protect
yeah,
him."
yeah. Like Dom walks in, and then ends up hugging Hollywood and Venus, and Venus was like, "Oh, yeah, that's what happens when I give you a shield or something like that." Like Venus said something in the heat of the moment as like almost like a little quip or like a joke,
Hmm.
and then people and then people were like, "Wait, what?"
Right. What do you mean? It
But then
yeah.
Carl was like, "Oh, well, that's kind of genius if you ask me."
Right. It was like because she protected somebody who she feels, like is on could be her ally with her, and so it just makes sense. But Venus didn't know that Dom already had a shield, so Dom ended up giving the shield that she gave him, just gave it to Hollywood, so Hollywood would be safe. Which I'm like, that's the perfect duo right there. They kind of
Yes.
ate. They kind of ate that up.
Yeah, I think we're about to get like a rise. Like
Mhm.
almost yeah, I think Dom and Hollywood are definitely on the come up.
Yeah, I think so too. I think the closer we get to the end, the more people are starting to figure things out, and I think we're going to get a rise from Hollywood and from Dom, especially if this episode tell us anything. Because
Yes.
after we say goodbye to Natalie, um, a little talking happens.
We got some talking, excuse me. And we do get some like interesting conversation as well. Namely of like, oh, uh Sarah Nicole and Charla are very much on to Venus.
Mm-hmm.
Um and obviously the talk about like, oh, Venus giving her shield to Dom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Those were the two main things I got out of it. And then I know there were some mentions um about Sarah Nicole. I know Lisette was in one of those conversations of them being like, "Oh yeah, no, Sarah Nicole keeps on having conversations with the dead of like moments before they're murdered or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Sarah Nicole's always been like, "Oh yeah, they told me before they died, before they were
Yes.
murdered." Like,
I just found that so weird to me. I was like, what do you mean you gonna come back and like, oh yes, Jericho said this, told me this before he was murdered or vanished, or Shaughnessy told me this before she was murdered. Like, why ain't you saying that? And then she would say they told me a name or of some names, but then they won't say who it is.
yeah,
I would have been. I'm gonna be honest. She would have been my next target because, like, what do you
she
mean
would have been my next target too.
you have information? You're not sharing this information. You're not talking at the round table, so we don't even know who the people are who you say you know. You know, like it. You're a bad faithful. Even if you're faithful, you're a bad one because you're not
Yeah.
sharing information.
Hmm.
Yeah, she would have been on my list. I would have been like, yeah, she gotta go. She's not doing anything for us, and she's not helping. She's not trying to solve the murders. She's not trying to help that. So is she a traitor, or is she trying to protect traitors because she know who they are and she's just trying to protect them, so she can get to the end with them? It is I don't know. I honestly don't understand why she's doing that. But everybody she talked to is like, oh, they told me before they left. They told me before they died. Like, what? Yeah, it was wild behavior. Um, but Corinne comes out and is like, I need you to tell me three people who you think are influential. The most influential. Give me three people who are the most influential. And a few names went out. A lot of names came up, but they settled on Hollywood, Dom, and Cara.
Yeah.
I was shocked a little by the Dom vote, but
I was gonna say the same thing. Hollywood and Kara, yes. Dumb, I was
mhm,
like, sure.
right.
I don't know. I just haven't seen him bring much up until recently to the round
Mhm,
table.
okay. Yeah, but I don't know. I didn't. I was confused by that, but that's who they went with, and so Corinne told them to follow her. The rest of them, she'll see them later. And so when we see them get to the challenge, we then see Hollywood, Dom, and Kara hanging on this contraption, and they're just hanging there. And we're gonna play Hangman. And I was like, Hangman? Of all the games, we playing Hangman?
Oh, this is a bit much for Hangman. You could have easily played that in the Man War.
Right. We did not need to come all the way out here to but
Like
they
you're telling me there's not a whiteboard in the memoir?
right. We can play Hangman. Like I was floored. I was floored. I was like, Hangman. Okay, okay, we
And
playing
I love
Hangman.
Kara being like, "Oh, this is my game. I know the strategies of it, and I'm sad I can't even play."
Right. I'm like, no, you have to hang your butt up on that pole that they got you hanging off of, which was crazy. But they're playing Hangman, and every time they get a letter wrong in each person's box, that person will drop down lower. And if you
Yeah,
drop to the end first, you will be gagged. You will
I think
be
it's anyone that gets dropped down below.
first. Yeah, that's what I say. If you get dropped down first,
Oh, okay,
the
yeah,
first
yeah.
yeah, the first person to get dropped down first is just SOL at this point. Like you're done. You and not only are you done in the game, they give you a gag order. They're gagging you and they telling you you cannot speak at tonight's roundtable. And I was like, what?
That I love that twist,
It
but I was like, "Dang, that's crazy."
is crazy. It was wild. I can't believe they did. I couldn't believe they did that. I was like, oh wow, this is
But I love it.
gaggy. I
I
loved
actually
it.
really love it.
I did
They need to
too.
bring that.
They do. I need them to put that in US like I need them to do that because that would be gaggy. Because the round table is where you're supposed to have your voice. And if you don't have your voice, you could get voted out and nobody you can't even defend yourself.
Hmm.
But I also would have taken that opportunity if I was the one gagged. When we get back to the house, I'm talking to everybody. I'm letting everybody know my thoughts. And I need you to bring this up at the round table for me. Since I can't talk, I will go to my trusted ally. I'm like, this is what I need you to bring up at the round table for me. If you trust me, because this is what I see. And since I can't say anything, I'm going to make sure what I was going to say comes out.
Yeah,
But we start with the game. And the words seem simple enough. Um, we had
yeah. So we had Hollywood who had the word deception.
mhm.
Um, Dom had dishonest, and then Kara had vanishing.
Okay. And they were guessing, and they were doing the smart things, doing like trying to get the vowels out. They started with E,
Yep.
got a couple of them, but Hollywood went down one. He didn't have any. Oh, yes, he did. Yes, he did. Deception. It is an E in
He
deception.
did. Okay, the edit was weird
Yeah.
because it was like, oh, he had an E in his word, but he went down. Like I think they switched up like Dom in Hollywood because it
I,
was like, oh, uh if there was a C, for example, there's a C in
mm-hmm,
deception, but not one in dishonest.
mm-hmm.
Dom Hollywood would go down, but not Dom.
Right.
Yeah, so something was happening in the editing room.
Yeah, the edit was kind of funky because it was just like they would call out letters that you know was in those words, but then they would drop one, and it was like okay.
Yeah,
But which led me further believe that we didn't see all the letters that were called out.
probably.
But what ended up individually happening, Kara ended up getting the gag order
The
because
guy.
and Meredith was trying to fight for Kara. She wanted Kara to be safe. But everybody was like, listen, we can only say there's only one person who's going to get it. And we have more letters solved in the other ones than we do in hers. So she has to be the one. And at first, Meredith was going hard, like, no, we don't have to. We can save Carl. We can do it. And then eventually, it was like, yeah, no, I can't. I can't save her. She was like, and Carl was like, it's okay. It's okay. Get those other words so we can get the money. it's about the money. It's always about the money. Let's
Hmm.
focus on the money. So,
Yeah. And then at the same time, I saw someone was like, "Why do you want to save Kara so badly?"
mhm,
No shade,
mhm,
but why do you want to save her so badly over two people?
right. You want to sacrifice all of us and the money for one person? Interesting.
Interesting.
Interesting. But Kara does go out first, which means Dom and Hollywood both get shields. And I was
Hmm.
like, okay. They get their shields, so they are safe. Kara is gagged at the round table. Now, I'm gonna be honest. I skipped through a lot of this because I didn't realize I didn't watch this, and I saw it was some conversations that happened after the challenge before the round table. So, if there is
Yeah.
anything out that is worth mentioning, please do so.
Yeah. So after the mission before the roundtable, um, we got some conversation here and there. Obviously, we got Lisette and Coco talking about Sarah Nicole. That
Hmm.
doesn't get much traction.
No.
I think the main focus was on Sarah Nicole and Chala
Hmm.
versus Venus. Because
Yeah.
Venus was like, oh, yeah, I can definitely make a case for myself, and I'm going to do it right now in this room with them. And I know Jamal walked in at some point and ends up defending, like, helping Venus out kind of
Right.
thing, being like, oh, yeah. Because I know Jamal was ended up also voicing his opinion, being like, oh, this was a great move. What, like, on the sake of the faithfuls, yeah. And I know Kara kind of voiced that a bit too.
Hmm.
Um, but that was the main. That was pretty much like the main um convo that I got out of that.
Yeah, because when they were coming into that round table, everybody was focused. Like Dom had heard Venus's name, so he came ready to defend Venus to the death.
Oh, it was
It
adorable.
was
He said, He said, I got this little top on. I'm trying to dress up as Romeo, and I'm gonna try and save my Venus in Juliet, or my Juliet in Venus.
yeah.
Um, bless his heart.
Bless his heart. Like bless his heart. He was coming. He was coming to fight for his woman. And but everybody else was like they had a plan. They knew exactly who they were going after and they knew who they wanted to focus their attention on. And so they came in ready. And once they started talking, it was like two people were the main focal points of this round table. That was Venus and that was Miriam.
Hmm. Yes.
Because people were like, listen, this just like Shala was like the way you were going so hard about these shields deal doesn't sit right with me and how you were handling that and then you give your shield you felt comfortable enough to give your shield to Dom. Why would you feel that? Like what made you comfortable enough to give your shield away when you fought so hard to keep it amongst the four of us? And
Hmm.
so she was like, well, I was already safe and people already thought I was safe because I had a shield and they knew. So I was thinking to give it to somebody else, but they still think I had it, it's in secret so they wouldn't know. And so I wanted to protect him because I feel like I could trust him. And they were like, but you just put yourself in like a showman's. Like, and she was like, it's not a showman's. Like, Venus was like, it's not a showman's. We can I never want to see him again. I felt like that was cruel to say.
That was crazy.
She was like, I never want to see him again after this. I was like, you had to say that, but definitely try to deflect the showman's allegations, but like we are not a showman. We just somebody who I feel like I can trust. And then they were like, but you know what? The game you come from, if you see a duo, you want to split that up because why would
Yeah.
you keep that? And I think Meredith made a good point when she was like, if I make it to the end with the two of you, even if you all think even if we all think we faithful, y'all wouldn't want to split the money three ways, so you would kick me out because y'all are a duo. So we need to break that up. And everybody's like, I was like, that's a good point. That's a
That's a
good
really
point.
good point, actually.
It's a really good point because, like, I don't want to go to the end with a showman's because I'm the third wheel, and I don't want to be put out because they want to protect each other. Like, absolutely not. But she made that good point. Venus, in turn, makes another good point. It's like, listen, I just needed somebody who I trusted in this game, and I feel like I could trust him enough to, side with me. But it had nothing to do with no relationship or anything like that. It's just this game is still about numbers.
Yeah.
And I was like, facts. It was interesting to see, but they were going back and forth, and people were chiming in left and right about how they feel like somebody had to be the brains of this operation. We see the pattern of the traitors. We had Kevin, we had Rhea. Somebody had to be the brains of this operation, and we feel like it could be you. And just you've been the way you've been defending this person. It was weird, and it's just a lot of back and forth. But the first vote happened, and it's a tie between Venus and Meredith, 5 votes apiece. And I was
Yep.
like, ooh, oh, is anybody going to change their mind? Is anybody going to flip? And who are they flipping to at this point? But the second vote wasn't even close.
No.
It wasn't even close. One person, um,
Two.
two people flipped,
Yep.
and Lisette flipped because at first she voted for Meredith, so she
Yes.
flipped her vote to Venus. Um,
And Coco did the same thing.
yeah, because Coco was just like, ain't no saving this now. I tried the first time she voted for Meredith, but she knew the tide was shifting, and banished was Venus.
Who was doing really well up until this whole shield twist.
Hmm. She was doing really well up until that point. Um, Venus is banished, and she gets up to say, to let everybody know that she is, in fact, a traitor. And everybody's excited because they just got $10,000. Yes, yes, all the excitement in the room. And then there's Dom, who's just like,
Oh,
he's heartbroken. He
the
feels,
second, the second like time we've had this happen of like, oh, Trader gets banished, closest ally. Oh my God.
but I think everybody felt more bad for Dom than they felt for
Yeah,
Jericho.
yeah.
They did. They were like, "Oh, Dom, I'm so sorry." No, he was like, "I feel played." She's like, "Oh my God, Dom, no, Dom." It was so. I was like, "Okay, use this to your advantage, Dom. Like, take this sympathy and use it to your advantage." And man, they felt bad. They were like, "But it's the game. It has to happen this way. It is what it is. Let's go." And we see Dom and Coco after everybody leaves the round table talking. And Coco and Dom are just kikiing it up. They just
Yep.
laughing, and because she's like, you did defend her kind of hard. I know. And that feel he was like, I know, I just feel so played. She's like, no, but it's kind of funny. And they just kikiing, and I'm just like, what is this dynamic?
I feel like only Coco can get away with that.
I think you're right. Because I'm like, what is this strange dynamic between Dom and Coco where she just feels so comfortable to kiki with him and they just laughing about how he just got played. Like Venus just played in his face, literally told him she don't want to see him no more after this game, even though I don't think she meant it, but she said it. and she's been a traitor this whole time, and you've just been like fawning over her. It's hilarious. And Coco let him know how hilarious it actually was. And I was like, that's funny. That's just funny.
Yep.
But they're laughing, they're kikiing. Everybody's just, talking about how Venus is just really good. She was really good. Like, oh my God, she was so good at this traitor thing. Um, and we see Coco. After everybody goes to bed, she goes to the conclave alone because she is now the last traitor, original traitor standing, last traitor standing in there. And so now it's time that she has to get somebody in there with her. This is the blackmail.
Ultimatum.
Yeah,
Or yeah, blackmail.
blackmail ultimatum. Like either you say yes or you die. That's just it. But she asked a question in the conclave to Corinne that I didn't even think about. And I was like, oh, when she asked about Dom, she was like, he has a shield. If he says no, what happens? Corinne was like, he goes back to sleep. And she said, but does he see who does am I revealed? Does he know who I am? And she's like, no. She's like, oh, that changes everything because at first she
That
wasn't even.
changes everything. Yeah.
Yeah, she was like, because at first I wasn't even considering Dom, but now, do you think Dom is a good choice?
For murder, maybe.
Uh,
But you can't murder him because he has a shield.
all right. Do you think he's a good choice for to be her new traitor?
I don't know. Maybe, possibly. But I think it's more so, is he going to say yes to it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I,
So I'm thinking, who would say yes to Coco, into joining Coco?
I think Dom would say yes because at this point he has nothing to lose. He done lost everything. Like Venus is gone, and now I kind of feel like
Yeah.
he might say yes if he was asked, and we see he is asked because Coco does choose him,
Yes.
and but we just don't know what he says.
Yes. And that's where we end up like leaving the
Yes,
episode.
and I'm like, I think he says yes though. I personally think he says yes
Yeah.
because either.
I don't think it'd be like bad if he joined the traders.
Hmm.
I just don't know how he would do as a trader. But I
I
know
think
he is able to lock into that mindset.
yeah, I think Dom would do good as a trader. He just has to stay the same level that he is now. Like play the especially this next day. Like if he becomes a trader, if he continues to play the sad, like I can't believe I got played role, people will leave him alone.
Yeah.
I think they will leave him alone, and he will be able to go through the game a little, at least this round with
Hmm.
unscathed.
You know who I low-key would actually might be able to be a solid trader too? Hollywood.
That's who I thought, and that's who I was thinking she
But then,
should pick.
wait, but then again, they did say Hollywood's likely to get away with anything. And I feel
Hmm.
like someone like a Sarah Nicole would be able to pick up on that.
Hmm.
So, I don't know.
I was
Actually,
thinking,
no. Yeah,
yeah, I
probably
was
Dom,
thinking
actually.
Hollywood. I think Dom is a good choice, but I think Hollywood would be a good choice as well because he's such a faithful of the faithfuls that if he could
Hmm.
switch to traders, because I think he wanted to be a trader in the
He
beginning.
did. He did want to be a trader.
So I think if he's able to switch and be a trader and not, change his demeanor or behavior, I think he'll be able to get away with it.
Hmm.
And I think he would be loyal to the traders as well.
Oh, you know who would be a solid choice, actually? I think Sarah Nicole. Because
Mm.
it's either she joins you in the traitor or she dies, right? So if Sarah Nicole's out, it might not be the worst for Coco's game.
I don't
I don't
know.
know. That's just what I'm thinking.
I'm just like it's. I'm still. I'm thinking, but I don't know. I think. I, I think that Dom says yes. Me personally, I still
Yeah,
think Dom says
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
But we shall see. I guess we'll see next week if Dom actually says yes, and if how he does as a trader. If he does say yes, I'm interested to see it. But we'll be right back here. We see some kind of dramas going on in the previews because people are noticing somebody's demeanor has changed,
Yep.
and so I'm interested to see what happens. Yeah, I can't wait to come back next week and talk all about it. And we'll be right back on schedule. We're on schedule now. We're going. We're just gonna be talking about
Yes.
episode 9. We'll be back. We'll be on time. We'll be on schedule. We'll get it done. And I can't wait to talk about it. And I need y'all to let me know in the comments what you think about this season of Traitors Canada.
Please.
Are you enjoying it as much as I'm enjoying it? Because I'm clearly enjoying this season so far.
I'm loving it as well. I'm obsessed with this season.
It's so good. It's so good. Every time I'm like, "Ooh, the season came out, the episode dropped. Let me get it. I'm gonna watch it." I've not been so excited, and I can't wait for this being my lead up into U.S. traders in January. So
True.
I'm I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I can't wait. And UK, which is also starting in January. Like, my
Oh, that's
goodness.
right.
Yes, we have so much traders happening in this upcoming year. I'm excited. I can't wait to watch all of it, and we'll be talking about all of it. But we'll be back here next week to talk about Traitors Canada episode 9. Let us know in the comments what you think. Let us know if who you think is Dom going to say yes. Do you think they even asked Dom? Let us know. Um, Follow us on this channel. Subscribe, like, share, do all the things. We truly appreciate it if you do. Follow us on on all of our socials at the Cup Pod on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. You can follow Aneesa and myself if you like. Join our Patreon. Follow us on all our audio podcast links. Follow us on all of our channels across the Cup Network. All those things will be in the description below. And don't forget to get your merch at lanagscreations.etsy.com. That link is also in the description below. And if you scan the QR code to the right, it'll take you right to it. Anissa, I guess we need to go to the conclave and figure out who we'll murder tonight. So
Yeah, yeah, I think that'll be a good idea.
yeah, we're gonna get out of here. Y'all stick around and watch some more videos, and we'll see y'all next week. Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye. No.